And so let's talk about how does that affect us in the industry, right? So you mentioned earlier, 1999, you started the company, you started this concept. You said earlier, I thought we were the only one. I didn't think anyone else was doing it. Well, turns out you were right. No one else was doing it. No one else did until 2004, copied what you were doing, and then came out with different versions. And since then, we've had, there's been people in and out of the industry. But what I want to talk about real quick is technology and how being on the cusp of that is affecting things. So what we see is we're doing this development that we talk about. We're talking to our clients, coming up with ideas, and we put something out there. And then what we see is 2 years later, the competitor comes out with, hey, look at what we can do. And, talking about how great they are. And they're talking about something that we've been doing for years. What's that?
It's size. It's size. And I think part of the philosophy keeps us smaller because of the way we do business. You got to look at if you make it to do just what it needs to do, and then you can sell anything, then you're not going to make it so it sells itself. If something had to sell itself, if word of mouth sold it, it'd have to be the best thing it could be. So I think my philosophy is to make it the best it could be. That could put you out of business early.
Right.
You got to make something that works. It works enough. It's adequate enough. We'll make it better as we go along. I don't see how that helps you in marketing if you don't have kind of something that really works well. And so I think on that philosophy, it could be argued that we've made an error. I don't see it. In the fact that we didn't make something that could barely, and I'm not saying that our competitors did this.
Right.
I'm saying I think there's truth to this in both the fact that I'm saying we waited to make sure it was the best so we could market the best. And then they come out 2 years after we have a feature that we put in because of how we do it. Then they go, look at us. We've got this brand new thing. And you're right. It's happened not once, but like dozens
numerous times. Yeah.
Especially on our marketing, right? We'll say we save you money, and we literally do. And we make them more. And we added an extra something that our competitor doesn't do. Yet they come out with the same exact thing. So this is a side thing to tech. Our philosophy, I believe, keeps us interesting. If you have a big sales force, I like Jed. He's a nice guy, so I bought. He took me to lunch 5 times. He waited for me to come up with a yes instead of my normal no. That isn't the technology selling itself.
Right.
When you talk to them, you're talking about real issues, real problems. Not saying they're not, but they have a sales force, all the others, and we don't. And so we have made specific decisions, and it has kept us at a certain size. We are actually fine with it. If you want to look at our boutique video, we're actually, that has always been a part of our appeal, I think. And I think we can maintain the small feel, you're not just a number feel, to growing and being big and using technology to control our growth and not have to hire people. Because when you look at the structure of our competitors, they're very people oriented. They have lots of people in departments in states. I mean, that's I don't understand this. So go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, and on that end, we are the boutique. We are definitely the smaller company, but we know that we're leading the industry with technology and ideas and features. And we know.
Why is that? Is that because the big guys all of a sudden do what we do, technology-wise? They come up with something new. No, they take something we did, and we're small enough where we're not out there impacting the market where everyone goes, no, that's GDN that does that.
Right.
So we're taking that as it comes, but people are realizing it.
So one thing I want to point out is this word right here above my head that says integrity. When we're talking with someone, if they say, can you do this? We'll say yes or no. And if the answer is yes, that's because we actually can do it today. If the answer is no, it comes with, well, either why we don't do it, or we never thought of that, or we don't do it now, but let's talk about how we can implement that in the future. So we're always looking at that. Whereas I've heard stories where the people will say, oh, I've been waiting for XYZ company to do this for 2 years. Yes.
Yeah.
That for 2 years.
And not just one person.
No. And not just one company either. We've heard that from multiple people about multiple of our competitors where they're waiting for years. And an example of that is, just like we were talking about, when we come out with a feature and then they go, 2 years later, they go, oh, look at what we can do.
That's a good sales force. Really, all you're seeing is good sales force, good customer talk. So if they can tell you what you need to hear to feel as though they're working on it, then 6 months go by and you don't remember until that problem prompts you to go, what about that thing? And then they do their magic again, take you out to lunch. Another year goes by and you realize I'm upset because of how they do business.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So
that's not new tech, by the way. New tech isn't keeping them in your system and keeping new tech old. New tech, which is what we're talking about, is staying current and staying ahead of the curve. When they copy you, what does it say? We are the curve.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I think the truth in long term with these videos will come out.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you one of the most frustrating of all of these years, one of the most frustrating things ever was they were pushing their marketing that you can share your orders with up to 4 people. Literally, that was in their marketing. Oh, you can share your orders with up to 4 people, and it's like a big deal. And at that time, for at least 2 or 3 years prior to that, with us, you could share your order with as many people as you want. Unlimited. But like we didn't think about that as a marketing thing. We're like, hey, you need to share your orders. Okay, we'll put it in place. Done. That's one of the most frustrating things for me. So I know, Joe, you and I have talked about this before. We're really good at GetDocs now, but we haven't been so good at marketing GetDocs now.
And I don't mind taking. I don't mind. Look, it's not a failure. Here's what we're good at. They're good at marketing. It doesn't matter what they're selling. They could plug in anything, any widget, anything. They can sell it. Put a lipstick on it and sell it. We are a technology company. Let's see the difference. We're not out there pushing it down your throat. We let it speak for itself. There's a mistake in that. Growth is affected by it. We can only talk to one company at a time. We choose that. We'd rather do that. We're finding the companies that go, yeah, I've dealt with both. Oh, I've done it with them. I thought there was no other option. Hey, wait, you guys are out there? And we are satisfying those clients. They will never go back to the other guy.
Right.
And that actually in the long term is going to grow us. So absolutely. I don't like I like the stick-to-itiveness. Once you get a client, they understand that our philosophy, and they don't really go. They shouldn't. I mean, I don't want to take it for granted, and we do lose a client ever so often for a myriad of reasons. But for the most part, I think we have clients that really they love us. They love you. They love the way we do our. Hey, there's nothing tech about calling someone with a problem.
Right.
And our customer service does that. And then you're never going to get away from that.
Yeah. And earlier at the very beginning of this conversation, you were talking about people being involved and moving to full automation. And that's one of the other things that makes the tech work. It makes us always looking for features is the fact that our customer service side is so good and so involved with our clients and the doc buyers that we don't wait necessarily for someone to tell us there's a need. Because we have our thumb on the pulse, we see the need before someone even brings it to our attention to say, hey, we see what's going on here. We need to get in front of it. And that's what I think that has been the biggest thing that's led us over at least the 11 years that I've been with the company as an employee. It's led us to the growth that we've had, and it's led us to the new features that we have. I mean, it's amazing how robust we've become, and that's what the difference is. You don't get treated like a number, and we listen, and we come up with solutions.
So one thing you talked about is relating to the topic today. So what are we talking about? That ultimately, because customer service is a call and a talk. It's not more tech.
It leads to the tech, right? Okay, so I got you. So we're going to transition. That leads to our tech, which leads to the tech that makes the employees' jobs easier for our clients, the management companies. And
it just works.
The order process, right, and makes the order process
so here's
easier
the thing.
for the people ordering
Saying a
off.
buzzword about robust means nothing to most people. Like saying robust is not tucked into we got everything. They don't know what that is. So give me an example of a couple of things that have enhanced recently, something that stands out over the years. You don't have to name a client, just maybe two, and I would believe it wouldn't be, hey, I got an idea, you got to put this in your system. It's more of an organic, they have a problem, you see a solution and go, hey, you know what, if we move this, if we do this. Yeah.
Here's my number one example of that. Folder manager. Okay.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's the number one example is folder manager, because what happened with folder manager was,
and talk about how that came to be competitive.
So what happened was several years ago, I was talking with a client or a prospect, and at that time he said, "Oh, I have 100 associations, and what I need is I need to be able to upload the financials for all 100 associations every month, and I want to automatically go to the right association and be assigned correctly." And I said, okay, we don't have that today, but we'll develop it. We'll get that. We'll make it happen. And he said, I won't mention the company, but he said he was with one of our competitors, and they were doing that for him. And in talking with him, he said, so what we do is we put it in the file. In about 3 or 4 days later, it's uploaded, and it's in the association, but it's not always in the right association. Okay, interesting. So we developed it. It took us almost a year to build it. And this is one of those things I was talking about earlier, Joe, where as a company, we invested in this.
This wasn't promised. This was something we did on our own.
On our own, absolutely.
We saw it as an issue. They didn't say, make this for me. We go, what if we did this? And behind the scenes, we worked on it. We didn't tell anybody. We were doing this like, you wait, we got this great thing coming. No. We just worked.
We just did it because we knew it was a good idea, right?
Continue. Yeah.
Okay, so over the course of that year, what I learned was that the competitor actually didn't have it automatically done. What they were doing was putting it into a shared FTP folder, and then the competitor had a person in their office that was literally going through there and assigning them, okay, which is why it took time and why it wasn't always correct, because it wasn't automatic. However, the competitor lied to the company and said, oh yeah, it's automatic. It's automated. Just drop it in here and then it'll take care of it. We don't believe in that. We don't believe in adding FTEs, right? We believe in automation. So ultimately what happened was we created it, we came out with it, and it's one of the greatest things ever. And so all you have to do is use the correct naming convention, and which we can provide or you can provide, and you can take all of your similar type documents. It doesn't have to be just financial. So we do it, typically we see it with financials, with BOD minutes. Those are probably the two biggest.
So let me ask you this. As far as the competitor, have they developed something like this?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Okay. And it's not necessarily a competitive thing because they do offer it, but they've injected in an automated system a process that needs to stop and then be done by a person and then start back up. Automated is not an automated process.
Right.
Our work is to go, what person is touching this? Okay, let's get them out of there.
Right.
And that is what we have done from the beginning. We believe that automation should be wholly automated from the beginning to the end. And you know what? You may get stuck and need help by talking to a person. And even that with chat, we're talking about doing a frequently asked questions within the chat, which means you're going to be chatting with a bot that's going to go dissect your problem. And if 90% of the problems are answered by a bot that goes, have a nice day, glad to have helped you, what does it matter if you got the answer? If you did it online with a bot, that then you go, oh, I need to talk to a person because that didn't help me. To me, that is the way to go.
You know what we're finding out actually recently, and this is, if the next time we do a customer service video, this will come up. But what we're finding out recently is ticketing is actually even better than chat. Because with ticketing, what happens is they tell us what their problem is. We can either answer it, fix it, whatever the case is, And then when we're getting back to them within a matter of a few minutes, by the way, it's not like days. When we get back with them in a matter of a few minutes, we're getting back with them, telling them whatever they were needed has been resolved.
Do people understand ticketing? I think we do in the business.
They see it. Yeah, they see it as from their end, though. Let's say this. Maybe that wasn't the right jargon for us. Our end, we call it ticketing. What they're seeing is like a chat.
Okay.
Basically, they're submitting a chat.
But it creates a ticket within our system.
Yes.
It doesn't do that. We don't do that yet. This is cutting edge, right?
No, we're actually doing it now.
We've started it, but recently. We haven't done it for a long time.
Yes, correct.
So they'll like with anything, there'll be bugs, there'll be things that people like, things that people don't like. We'll have to adjust or get rid of it, and that's the way we roll. That's how.
Let me tell you this. Here's the thing. Back to another topic, customer service. Here's how almost every one of those ends. Thank you. They tell us thank you.
I see the emails.
Yes.
I look at every. You show me an owner that reads every customer service email that comes through. You show me that. Because really, every once in a while, I'll go, how did this go to you or to, in general, customer service? And I get a very quick answer back. No, it resolved. It took care. If I ever got an answer back saying it's in process, it would then be the next meeting that we have face to face. First, before we do anything, what's up with that customer service thing that happened?
So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was just onboarding a new client, and I was talking to the owner and kind of telling him like how we work. And I actually shared that with him that you look at every customer service email, and he's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "What owner?" Exactly what you just said. He said, "What owner does that?"
What's wrong with him?
He goes, "Yeah, like what owner does that?" I said, "One that wants to make sure that things are going smoothly, and
customer service has always been an indicator that the tech is not working correctly. So when you own a business, you get trained that is the only way Like if the site goes down, that's when they email you.
Right.
I can't get through. Okay, well, now we're alerted. We may not even know, right? Which is kind of, we do now. I mean, earlier on.
Yeah.
But you learn, you have to have your finger on the pulse. You guys are in there, and this is more habit now because I do totally trust the system. There are days I don't look at, I just get rid of them. But I'm looking at the header and the thank yous.
Yeah.
I'll see the string of 5 or 6, and I look at the last one, and it's always a thank you. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for that. Was a quick turnaround. So what are they saying? And you're going to know where I'm going.
Our tech works.
They're saying that the other guy doesn't because they don't just use us. They sell lots of houses that make them go to the other guy too.
Right.
And they're saying the counter is the other guy doesn't do this. The other guy doesn't. Thank you for doing this because my gosh, when I deal with the other guy. So anyway, tech is easy when it works. It's hard when it doesn't. It can make your life really work well. And then you get reliant on it. You forget. That's why long division, man, you need to be able to do long division because every once in a while your battery's going to go out and you need to know how to do things. But the days that you don't have to revert to the old days of ways we did things, you're living in the new world. And there's less and less errors, less and less problems in the new world. So tech is, it's where society's going. No one fights it anymore. What do you think?
So I think I remember the first time I saw an iPhone. My brother got an iPhone, and as he was like scrolling pages, right, and I saw all the icons for the apps, and I had no idea what even that was, right? And he's showing all those to me, and I said, who would ever need all of those things?
I got pages of them now.
And now we all have pages of them. Right?
Yeah, we made a couple. We made a couple apps too.
Yeah, we have. So it's like we can't live without, right? It's crazy. So
there's an app for that.
Right. So I think that to answer your question, where I think technology's here to stay. What we do is we take this process of taking orders, taking payments, getting them out on time, doing the expedites. We take that very seriously and from the tech standpoint, and we streamline the process as much as possible. And our customer service makes that even better. I would say for one of the things that really we do differently is partner in the technology with our clients. So we partner with our clients in the technology. So when they have an idea, they have a specific need, we find a way to make that happen. Just this is really silly and almost ridiculous that we're the only ones to do this, but we have state-specific resale certificates, right? Why? We work in several states, and they have different requirements, and so we have state-specific resale certificates. We see the other people, they don't, I mean, like, that's one of those things that's just so silly, right? But sets us apart because we want to make it easier through technology, make it easier for our clients.
On that note, I think we can conclude.
Technology's here to stay. Yes. Yeah. Technology's here to stay. It's intertwined with all of the things that we do.
And I think it's a philosophy, how we use it. A philosophy, to conclude, basically, it's how we use it, how we treat our clients. They're not a number. I think there's how we apply it, how we think about it, how we utilize it. It's definitely a different philosophy from I'd say all the other competitors, which are bigger, like, we're the corner hot dog stand making our money, doing our thing. They're great hot dogs. And there's the big conglomerate down the street selling billions a day. And let them do their billions. They have a quality they will not be able to maintain because they sell so many hot dogs. So,
or let's say they have a lower quality that they will be able to maintain while we're always improving ours.
I mean, it goes without saying. So thank you very much. That was excellent.
All right. Wow.